Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example related to template driven form, where we will practically verifying how nested ngModelGroup works. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is nested ngModelGroup, how to create it, and what kind of data it returns when we submit the form. But before we proceed further with this discussion, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to create nested ngModelGroup example. But prior to that, you should know what is basic ngModelGroup, what is template driven form, and how we can create it. So for the sequential content, what you can do, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3000 plus free resources available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can go through it and try to consume the content as per your requirement. Okay. Alright, so let's get started. Here you can see, firstly I am in the app.component.html file, where I have noted down one heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Okay, so mainly this heading is just for the introduction purpose, like what we are going to learn. And in the second heading, we have template driven form in Angular for nested ngModelGroup. So basically it is telling us the topic of today's session. Okay, now after this, what we will do, we will add two horizontal row here. Why? Just to separate out these headings with the actual forms. Okay, so we will just simply add here template driven form, so for just to separate that form with headings, we will add two horizontal row. This is not mandatory, but yeah, just to show it properly, I'm using it. Okay. Alright, now after this, what we'll do, we will simply create one form, and we know that to use ng form, there should be forms module in app.component.ts file. Why? Because if it is not there, it won't allow you to add ng form. Let's see how. So I'll create here form, and in this form we will write here let's say template reference variable as my form. Okay, and here I will write ng form. So you can see it is showing error. Why? Because we haven't added the forms module. So firstly we will go to app.component.ts file, and here we will add the forms module. So add forms module. Perfect. This is ready. Now you can see error is removed because now it got the forms module. Perfect. Now we have the term nested ngModelGroup. So let me explain it in a very simple way. So when we have one ngModelGroup inside another one, then you can say it is a nested. Like we have nested if else, we have nested div, we have nested for loop, right? So these two things we have, right? So here we are creating a nested ngModelGroup. That means one group, inside that we have another group, or maybe more than that. Okay. So this entire concept is called as ngModelGroup, as a nested ngModelGroup. Okay. So to implement this thing, what we will do, we will create one ngModelGroup for user. Inside that user, we will create another one for address. Now how to design it? You can simply press enter here. Just create the first model group here. So I will write here div, and inside this we will write ngModelGroup. Okay, and we will assign here user. Fine. So this is a user ngModelGroup. Now next, what we will do, we will add one input field here, and in this before input field, let's add label, so that we can attach some text to that field, right? Although you can use placeholder, but here I'm using a label. So here I will assign it as username. Perfect. Now we will add one input field, and inside this input field we will provide the two required thing, that is ngModel. Firstly the name. So here I will write username, and the second thing is ngModel. So this is the thing that we want to specify here. Okay, so we have one label as well as one input field. Now next, what we will do, after this ngModelGroup, we will add the another ngModelGroup. How? You can simply because right now it is just an ngModelGroup, but if you want to make it a nested ngModelGroup, so inside this div only you will add the next div, and this div will point out to ngModelGroup address. So now I think you can see what we are going to create. We have one main the parent ngModelGroup for user. Inside that we have one username field and one object itself for a ngModelGroup address. Okay, fine. Now inside this ngModelGroup we will define the other labels and input fields. So let's say I want first label as a city, so here I will write city. Okay, then we will write one input field where I will mention the required thing like name as city. Then we have second thing that is also important, that is ngModel. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Likewise we will add the second field label, let's say for pin code. Okay, pin code. Then we will add here input, and in this input we will write name as pin code and also ngModelGroup, ngModel only. Perfect. So now we have two fields, and it has created for city as well as state. Fine. After that, what we will do, after the div we will add another just after the end of div we will create one button, and this button will help us to submit the form. Okay, so this will be used for submit. Right here, click here, I will write submit form, and inside this we will pass the my form. But remember one thing, right now it is not declared, so we have to declare it first in app.component.ts file, and also it is a case sensitive thing, so always make sure that if you are writing something here with capital letter, write it with capital only, otherwise it will throw the error. So we have to define the model. So for that, go to app.component.ts file, expand it, and here we will write submit form. Okay, and then we will write here form. Inside this we will write here ng form, and see, when I press enter it automatically added this thing here. That means it should be imported, otherwise it will throw the error. Okay, now you can expand it, and here you can write console.log as form.value. Perfect. So this thing is ready now. Now let's see what would be the different in output. Okay, how the output is different, because in last session we also created the ngModelGroup, right? But there we have different output. Why? Because object inside an object. Let me show you how it works. So let's run ngserve -- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds, and then it will show you the output in the browser screen. So when I wait for browser, it will show the output like this. Okay, we have main heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit, and then we have this secondary heading, template driven form in Angular. For nested ngModelGroup, this is also fine. We have horizontal row. You can see there is a mismatch in alignment, right? Because we haven't focused on it, but it's completely fine. We have three different divs, so maybe when you design it with a proper size and everything, it will work perfectly. But here we are just focusing on how it will work, not on the designing part. Okay, so that is why, like you can see, it is in three divs. Username is in one div, then we have city, pin code in another div, and button. Okay, fine. Now let's see the output. Click on right click here, go to inspect, after that go to console, and now you can see here if I write ABC as a username, city as XYZ maybe, and pin code as 123. If I click on submit, the moment I click on submit, it added this thing. Now if you expand this user, we have one user object, because we have one ngModelGroup with name user. Expand it, you will find we have like in user object, we have username. That is fine. That is just a simple field, and another object. So this is object inside an object. That means we have ngModelGroup inside a ngModelGroup. And if you expand this address, you will find city and state is a individual thing. Okay. So I think now you can see the hierarchy. We have one user ngModelGroup. Then inside that we have one address ngModelGroup. Fine. Now you might be thinking like, can we use more ngModelGroup inside that? Yes, if there is a requirement, you can create your multiple ngModelGroup inside a example as per your requirement. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. In this session, we discuss how to create ngModelGroup, nested ngModelGroup. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.